Good morning to both of you. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hi.
Hi. So, Andrew, start by telling us about your play. What's it about?
Sure. So the play is called The Tranquillian Soldier, and it's being produced by the Tranquille Tunnel Tours out at Tranquille Farm. And our company, Chimera Theatre, has partnered up with them to create this kind of hybridization between a tour of the historical buildings and a play that explores this love story between two actual people who lived 100 years ago.
Well, this sounds really creative. You wrote it. Where did you get your inspiration from?
I actually helped write it. The person who primarily wrote it was named Mackenzie Cassell, and she got all this information from partially the Tranquille Farm has a lot of information on these people and on these events. And they actually got a bunch of information from the Kamloops Museum because they have a lot of information around World War I, which is where the play is set. And then we came in as actors and writers, and we helped just tweak the script here and there to fine-tune it.
So can you kind of describe the experience for the theater goer to us?
Okay, so it's very different than a traditional theater play. You're not just going to sit down for an hour and see something unfold in front of you. The first thing you do is actually you load up on the back of a trailer and you get launched into this interactive tour. So you're moving on this trailer and then you have to unload and you have to move out on foot. And then there's these things that happen around you. You go into the actual tunnels, you go into different buildings, you're exploring these different areas, and then all of these characters are coming at you in and out of the story as you move with this tour guide.
Is it set in World War I?
Yeah, it's set in 1917. World War I is still midway. It hasn't been resolved yet, and it's exploring the life of a soldier. That's where the name comes from, and this nurse who works at the hospital out at Tranquille.
Boy, it sounds great. Brooke, you act in the play. What part do you play?
I play the soldier.
Ah.
He's injured in World War I, so he comes to the sanatorium.
Yeah,
sure.
sanitarium.
We'll go with one of them. And to get better, and ends up falling in love with the nurse.
How much do you know about the real character?
A lot. Like, we got a wealth of information, so I feel like I know him personally, like he's a close friend of mine.
What kind of love story was it?
Unconventional.
Can you tell us a bit more?
Well, they start out, at odds, but as it goes on, they come together, and they realize their strong feelings for one another, and it blossoms from there.
Sounds great. Okay, so what has it been what's it been like working out at Tranquille Farm? There are some spooky looking buildings out there.
During the day, it's fine, but when it gets dark and you're sitting in your spot waiting to start, it's like every sound is, what was that?
When does the play happen? Is it always at night?
Yes, it happens. The first tour starts at 7:30, and then we have 3 a night on the weekends. The next one's 8:45, and then the last one's at 10. So we're aiming for after sundown for all the tours to get the best effect from the audience.
So you must really work those historic buildings and tunnels.
We definitely do. Yeah, we've got lighting, we've got sound, and it really helps create this cool atmosphere.
Do you actually use the tunnels underneath the building?
We do. That's in the latter half of the tour. We save the best for last, but they go right into the tunnels, and they get to explore the underground, basically village that is this network under these old historical buildings.
So for people who don't know what Tranquille is, can you sort of give us a summary?
Oh, sure. Well, Tranquille used to be its own community. They have a school, they've got the hospital, they have a fire hall, they've got all these buildings where these people used to live and work there, and the farm hands lived there as well, and they brought in all this food to help feed all the patients of the hospital that was there. So everyone lived in these buildings. They all shared the school and the fire hall and everything. And then these tunnels were built actually to help to transport food and to get around during the winter. And so the whole buildings as an entirety is connected through these tunnels.
All right, and it was people in the First World War, during the First World War with TB would go there, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So they had many patients with tuberculosis, that's right.
What's the reaction that you get from people who attend? Is it a fairly big audience every night? Or
I think our max is about 20.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and a lot of the time, well, people are a little creeped out. It's a scary environment, especially going into those tunnels. Actually, one thing that just personally surprised me was one of the buildings is inhabited by a bunch of great horned owls. So at night, we periodically see these, they're quite big, these big owls flying around through the night sky, which can be kind of beautiful and also a little unnerving.
It sounds great. Is it kid-friendly?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't say like really, really small kids because there's quite a bit of walking involved.
Right.
But yep, it's kid-friendly.
All right. Thanks you both for coming in. It sounds great. And it continues through
Until
November, is that correct?
November 2nd right now. But last year we actually sold out so many that they had to push the run of the show into mid and late November. So if we sell out, we might go further into November. But right now our cutoff date is November 2nd.
Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you.